Gary has graciously agreed to join us for the next 25 minutes. He's on the road, so he's really taking time out of the day. I really appreciate you coming in for this special chat with the Fractal community. I don't think you need any introduction from me, but Gary Vee is basically the original entrepreneur on the internet. You know, he's out there. He's really figured out how to build businesses online. And more recently, I've been following your NFT. I don't even know what to call it, a career. Like your NFT, you're like the original tastemaker of NFTs. You know, it's been amazing.
That's definitely not true, but I will say this, and I think a lot of people have seen, you know, between the garage sale content and the wine content back in 06 and my office, the way it looks, I don't think it's surprising to people that the, you know, kind of collectible, you know, layer that NFTs are taking first. You know, obviously NFTs can do so much more. They're contracts, right?
Yep.
They're really, it's a ledger. It's a transparent ledger. It's a remarkable technology. But one of the first things that are popping off, no different than search engines were one of the first things that popped off on the internet, but the internet was going to do so many more things. The consumer blockchain is going to do so many more things. All the blockchains, just the concept of a consumer-centric blockchains is a big deal. But one of the things that pops off first is collectibles. And boy, I mean, talk about something. I mean, I have 35 years of experience. Like, forget about the fact that I was in a position to have a great project for myself. Just even being good at collecting, whether it's minting World of Women or first aping into CryptoPunks or, you know, like, this is something that comes very natural to me. And I'm just very grateful because it's a true passion of mine.
Yeah, you're the original collector, right? I remember Wine Library TV back in the day in 2006 and 7, and you were like talking about your passion for like the wines that you were discovering, right? Like, and I feel like you're
not only was I talking about collecting wines there, but like if you look at those old episodes, my WWF LJN wrestling collectibles, I'd had sports cards on there. Like, this is a true manifestation of community and collectibles, and, you know, obviously in my wheelhouse at the time that I was in the prime of my career. I'm incredibly grateful for the timing of all this. The enjoyment is through the roof. I mean, you know, it's been a long time. It's been Web 2. It's been when you and I got our teeth cut since I would be happily staying up late at night working on stuff because it's so enjoyable, and that's absolutely where I'm at.
So how do you pick what projects you ape into? Like, how do you know what's a good project?
Intuition.
Yeah.
That's like why I know it's so hard, right? Like, I have a knack of knowing what the masses will like. It's not even my own subjective opinion. It's this years of consumer behaviorist kind of DNA that I have and have formed. And, you know, I've spent 30 years behind the table of a lemonade stand, behind the table of a baseball card show, and at the register and on the floor of a liquor store. I was 35 years old. I started at 12. And so from 12 to 35, I spent every ounce of my life interacting with customers. Do you know what kind of library of, you know, reps and just like understanding what people react to and what they want that is? It's profound. And at the scale I was doing it at Wine Library, and then I went into social media after that, right? And that was a decade plus of interacting and reading comments. And I'm just a consumerist at my heart. And so just having the knack of knowing which stories are going to resonate with people is something that I feel very comfortable with.
You have an incredible insight into what people want and the stories. And like, can you give us an example of like CryptoPunks, for example? What drew you to that project, and how were you like, this is going to pop off?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was, you know, okay, this Ethereum blockchain seems to be the leading NFT blockchain. Oh shit, and at the time in December, this is the first Ethereum, you know, project. And oh my God, all these projects that followed, whether it was Mooncats or the stuff that I was seeing pop off, you know, they followed that model, right? Like, it was like projects based on characters, you know, a lot of them flat out 10,000. And then it was last year, my project was 10,000 255, but Bored Ape and everything. Like, you know, it was like, wow, Plasma Bears, like this is all following this kind of schema that these guys created, went into the Discord's rabid community, had already kind of established itself as the thing for, you know, a little while, last 6-9 months before I got in there in 2020. Looked at it, the art is so like, you know, pixelated, Nintendo culture, Atari culture, you know, it felt right. Rarity, aliens, apes, zombies, regular people, attributes, it just fit everything right. And it's the first one. And oh my God, I think this is gonna be a big bull run. And oh my God, I think it might end up being a little bit of a gold rush. It's been bigger than I predicted to myself last year. If that happens, the bubble will pop like internet stocks. Be careful. Let's buy something significant so I don't get caught up, so I can own the one. And that's why I went for that one first. It's the same reason that in May or June or July of that year, when I realized it was discovered that Curio Cards was the first Ethereum NFT project, obviously 1155s instead of 721s, it was a little bit different, but I aped in very heavily in the summer into that project. And then just like, you know, like in general, I like the OG projects. In the summer, I bought very heavily into a project called Plasma Bears, which was very unique. But why did I do that? Because Xcopy, an artist that I thought was going to get even bigger than he already was, and he has more than I even thought, was an artist on that project. So that will make that project cool. Plus the bears were on a second chain. They all burned. So you're looking for these stories. You're trying to get a real sense of, quote unquote, the stories.
Amazing. And how do you think, you talked about, you know, collectability being one kind of primary use case of NFTs, but there's so much more. Like, do you think, I mean, obviously I'm really bullish on gaming and the intersection of like kind of utility around gaming
Huge.
And NFTs. Like, how's that going to evolve?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even need to evolve. It's the open platform of what we've seen closed for the last decade, right? Like, how naive do you have to be to not understand that like trillions of children around the world and grown-ups buy virtual goods to flex and power up in games they care about. We saw this way back when with Farmville. I mean, NFTs came natural to me because I studied Farmville inside out.
Yeah.
You're in this closed social network. You want to flex, you need more sheep. I mean, Jesus, how much Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft do you need to see? NBA 2K, Madden points, like game, mobile games, you know, girls, boys, all ages around the world, Among Us, like how much proof do we need that digital upgrading to perform or to social signal is what we like, what we want to do? No different than why, you know, just a $200 hoodie costs $9.
Yeah.
But the logo is the other $180, $190.
Yeah. It's all about the social signal.
Of course. Why do people want a blue check mark? That was my big go-to last summer. Gary, I don't get it. Nobody gives a shit about digital. I'm like, do you care about a blue check mark on Instagram? Hell yeah. That's digital. You don't own, what do you fucking walk around with your blue check mark on your face? Like, you know, and so, you know, so I think people are very naive to the psychology to why this is all going to happen. And gaming is going to be at the fucking forefront. But here's what's awesome. And a lot of you know this, and I'm sure a lot of people who adore you are crossing over into gaming. When you grew out of Roblox and went to Fortnite, or grew out of Fortnite and went to 2K, all those dollars you spent kind of died in that game, right? They kind of died.
Yep.
Like maybe you sold some, but it was, you know, you just kind of moved on. When we do this in NFT land, those are going to be sitting on your public wallet. Like you're going to be able to liquidate the games you move on from, NFTs, so much more at scale, so much quicker, so much easier, and take that bag and dump it into the thing that's your new obsession. The lack of friction of crossing over in a decentralized environment versus a centralized environment is an economy that people have not realized yet.
Yeah, these economies are all going to be connected, right? And you're going to be able to move between them in this new world that's powered by NFTs. That's
correct. You own them. It's you don't get hosed on the closeness and the friction of it, and away you go.
So we launched our own NFT collection at Fractal, and we just airdropped it as a free airdrop to the members of our Discord. There was 100,000 members on our Discord. And I actually found in the collection, so then they were named randomly. They're like 100,000 snowflakes. And I found one that was actually randomly. I promise you I didn't make this up. It's named Gary V. that was
get out of town.
Yeah.
With not with two E's, just a V.
Just a V, not with two E's, but
that's amazing.
And I got it from so I can give it to you. I'll have to.
That's why you wanted my Phantom wallet,
I need your Solana wallet. I'll send it to you afterwards, awesome. But
I got it. I got a Phantom. Yep. Oh, I gave it to you guys. I gave it to my admin.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll send it to you after this call. But
my admin's like, yo, you need this wallet. I'm like, Phantom. He's like, dude. And I was like, bro, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Think I don't have a fucking Phantom wallet? So, I've been enjoying really digging deeper and deeper into Solana. It's so fun to do homework on chains. So fun to do homework on projects. This is nerd shit. I collected my whole life toys, action figures, sports cards, comic books. This is made for me.
Amazing. So I want to bring up some guests from the audience, who are Fractal
Please.
holders, to ask some questions. Brent, you want to tap some people?
Yep. Not financial advice, but here we go. One, I think people are overestimating the community and underestimating the founder. Let me explain. Everyone's like, it's about the community, and of course it is. But let me give you a good lesson on communities. When the Chicago Bulls are winning championships, Bulls fans are out and about and everywhere. A funny thing happens when they're not winning. You can't find a fucker outside of Chicago wearing a Bulls hat, right? So communities follow success. And so you've already seen, even last summer, communities that were super epic, but then as soon as something else got hot or something else happened, people kind of went away. They're hot because they want the short-term bag. So point number one, for sure, pay attention to the founders. It's a lot bigger than people think. The other thing to look for is, that's number one for me, the jockey. Number two for me is don't get FOMO too fast, right? Let a project hang a little bit. You're gonna find moments. If you don't mint it, let it chill. If you don't mint it and you want something, let it chill for a few weeks. Of course, some things may run in perpetuity. Bored Ape, Doodles, it will happen. But many projects get hot and then chill. Look at World of Women. Just a couple weeks ago, they were almost at at floor, right? These are long-term projects. And I think that people are overreacting in the short term. So take a beat, let the community form, watch them. I read tons of Discords in stealth mode to get a sense of, is everybody there for short-term greed flip? Or is there an affinity towards the art or the artist or the founder that makes you feel like it's a little bit more of a marathon than a sprint? Yeah, and let me answer Genderfied 707 real quick, who said, would I ever invest in a project that's doxed? I probably have, because I've been just tasting different mints and different projects. But real talk, if I'm really going to go and put real money into it, unless it's a historical project, because I'm very big on 2019 projects, and those have a different variable because they're kind of quote unquote dead. For the new stuff, no, I kind of want to know the people. Not that, look, there'll be plenty of doxed projects that are monsters. I just really believe in the jockey, and that's big for me.
100%. Just kind of like companies, right? You want to find the people who, you back the people.
I just like it too much. I want to have a relationship. I know what's going to happen. I feel like right now, 97% of the founders of 2021 projects will not be doing NFTs in 6 years. I know that because there's going to be a winter and they're going to be out and they're going to be on to real estate or the next fucking thing. I'm spending my time on the 3%. Ticketing. I just think I just don't know why a ticket in 5 years, and that's not so distant future for me. I think people need to know that early tech takes longer than you think. Justin and I were putzing around with video in 2006. It took longer than we thought, right, Just?
Yeah.
For it to go to this scale, like that, it just takes longer. But I don't see any reason why any ticket to any event is not an NFT, because it benefits both parties. Instead of a QR code or a piece of paper, the NFT can have a royalty on the back end, and the concert, the sporting event, the event can find themselves with by accident revenue. Michael Jordan's first ticket stub of his first game sold for $266,000 a couple weeks ago. Could you imagine there was a 10% royalty on that? For the Bulls would have made $26,000 passively 2 weeks ago. So I don't see a single reason why anybody would issue any tickets not in NFT form once we have NFT readers as tickets in society. I mean, we're really talking about less than 5 years. And I'll tell you why I believe that. The economics are too big. It's too big for the issuer, and it's too big for us. All of us. If you love Metallica or if you love basketball, like, it's our benefit. We all now know, okay, this is my ticket. Oh, if Zion scores 50 tonight, maybe I can get $25 for it after the game because somebody will buy it. Like, it's interests align. It's like credit cards. They were good for both sides. It eliminated a lot of friction. And so, like, I really believe ticketing is going to be really affected. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that's probably the most fun things. Like, I'm 46 now. I don't know if I've been cooler, more relevant, and younger in my entire life. I don't think I was this youthful and relevant and swaggy at 18, 22, 27, 31. Like, age is a fucking fake reality. And so I'm proud of you. Keep pushing, keep learning. The fact that you are even in a Discord audio chat, I wish everybody in this room that's listening right now understood how far ahead of the entire world they are by just even knowing there's a Discord audio chat capability.
100%.
I think sometimes we forget we are in a very small ecosystem here, and everybody here has a massive advantage and can get their piece of this puzzle. You don't need to become an NFT collector. You don't need to become an NFT artist. You might be in PR, and instead of like running your PR company the normal way, go all in on PRing for Web3 companies. Like, you can find your way. If you're good at project management, you don't have to become an NFT influencer or whale. You could become a project manager for an NFT project. There's ways to get into this world that you love by still doing the thing that seems mundane. You don't need to, when TikTok exploded, everyone's like, I'm like, go into, like, do it, doing my normal Gary Vee Web 2 thing that I did for a decade. Here's the arbitrage, here's the opportunity. And everyone's like, but Gary, I don't dance. I'm like, no, just because the current trend is dancers, like, the original trend on YouTube, Justin, you remember this, was pirating mainstream media. Yep. The original YouTube videos were just clips of like The Simpsons. Like we were all blown away. We're like, whoa, like I don't think people understand things evolve. The original Instagrammers were photographers. The original Twitter people were tech nerds. Like, the original thing always evolves. And so get your little piece of this world. And I'm glad our friend here does the same. So it's good for him. The last time we had NFTs, to your point, will create 50. The thing that I want to accomplish with VeeFriends is to be the transformers of this generation, right? There was, from 1982 to 1987, there was a window of after-school cartoons in America with Toys R Us at its height, where you built television cartoons after school for the purpose of selling toys. And that was a good business. But then My Little Pony, Strawberry Shortcake, He-Man, Thundercats, Transformers, GoBot, Voltron, a lot of this stuff later copied in the 90s by Power Rangers. A lot of this stuff actually created much bigger IP for film and television. And I would tell you that history repeats itself, because a lot of that stuff was very much influenced by Japan. Even then, Asian culture is incredibly creative, and when tweaked slightly, do I have to remind you that Super Mario was invented in Japan, right? So to your point, I actually think you're on it, but I don't think it's a modern thing. I think it's a historical thing. I genuinely compare this era of NFTs to the 1980s cartoon toy arbitrage era. And I'll tell you why, because you nailed it. I'm proud of you. It's there. It's going to be like 7 to 15, whether it's Cool Cats or Creatures or World of Women or VFriends or, whatever project, no question in my mind. In 13 years, there will be 7 to 10 multi-billion-dollar intellectual properties that are television, toys, cartoons, backpacks, lunchboxes, iPhone cases, games, all that were built through a mint that happened during this 24-month window. I fully believe that.
I think that's an amazing insight, is that we're at this huge Cambrian explosion of IP that's happening right now. Which means that
this is a inflection point this is a platform that will spark historical intellectual property. And that is a big deal. And I really believe we have not seen it since 80s cartoon after school. We saw it a little bit with 90s card games, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, right? You saw it a little bit there. Video games has done it as well. But it's hard to create mediums that do that at the scale that we're talking about. And I think NFTs are clearly that.
What it also means is that there's probably a lot more headroom to go, right, in these NFTs,
Tons.
Right? Because they're just right now they're online only. Yeah.
Correct. I mean, I'm already developing merchandise, toys. I'm started my process of M&Aing and buying an animation studio, so I do all my TV and film internally. VFriends is going to be Disney and Pokemon. I'm convinced. This will be my final chapter. This is it. VFriends is it for me, and I'm going to be Walt Disney or Vince McMahon, however you want to look at it. I am going to be that. And the reason I bring up Walt Disney and Vince McMahon is they were not Mickey Mouse or Hulk Hogan, but you knew who they were. They were out in front with their characters. I started out in front as Gary Vee. I'm going to now slide back. Gary Vee content, Gary Vee books, Gary Vee keynotes will now systematically has started the process of me going behind the scenes again, like who I was pre-34 years old, just an operator. I won't completely disappear, but now I'm going to push to the forefront Patient Panda, Gratitude Gorilla, Empathy Elephant. I will now take my energy and capabilities of branding, and instead of deploying them against myself, which I would argue I've done as effective as a small group of people over the last 15 years, I will now take my talents to VFriends.
Incredible. I love it. I can't wait to see what else is in store. So I know you have to run, Gary. I don't want to keep you. Can you tell everyone where they can ape into VFriends and check it out?
Everybody here is smart enough to do that. Let's sneak in one more question because I'm here for this community.
All right. Bowles, you were next.
Yeah, bro. This is where people don't understand how early it is. It's so early. I don't think many people realize that 99% of people are not going to want to be custodial.
100%. 100% agree with that.
So what's going to happen is Instagram, Coinbase, other platforms that will emerge, they're going to create environments where we won't have to be at risk anymore, and they'll take a VIG for it, and people will happily pay a VIG to not have their shit stolen. It was cool for the super geeky Web3 people, but we are now crossing the chasm to scale. I'll give you a historical reference. Do you know how hard it was to get on the internet before Mark Andreessen gave us Netscape Navigator? You had to be a fucking nerd. You had to code. And then obviously an iconic web figure in Mark Andreessen creates Netscape Navigator, and now you just have to type in an address at the top. Nobody here knows how a browser works. Nobody cares. Right now, we are so early. This is what I'm trying to tell people. This is so early that we're doing the geek shit, and most people don't understand the geek shit. Even some of us, me included, you included, that know enough geek shit to be dangerous, but you could still get caught because this is geek. When we can all just give up a piece of the profits to have somebody secure our shit, all of us are going to do that. Everybody talks a big game of decentralization until they get their fucking Bored Ape stolen. Right? Everybody wants, it's like communism. communism is gorgeous if you read it. You know, I was born in a communist country. Like communism, Marxism, you read it, fuck, it gets me excited. I'm like, that sounds nice, but it's against the human spirit, thus it's not nice, right? Same here. Like everything sounds great in theory of decentralization until you realize there's a lot of benefits you take for granted in centralization. And what's going to be awesome is you'll have your choice. If you don't want to be the custodial, then you'll give up the VIG to Coinbase or somebody else. If you do, mazel tov, have your MetaMask, have your seed phrase, and don't get fucking scammed. Just, I really appreciate it. I wish, excuse me, all of you super well. Happy New Year. It's a really, really interesting time. We're all so blessed to be a part of it, and I'm really glad to be part of this community.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Gary. Appreciate the time, brother.